Here to weigh in is renowned neurosurgeon, former China virus task force member, and author of Created Equal, Dr. Benjamin Carson. Always good to see you, Dr. Carson. You know, hindsight being 2020, we know a lot more about Dr. Fauci's antics than we did back then, but you know, you were there. Were there signs that should have tipped off President Trump that Fauci wasn't on the up and up?
Absolutely not. You know, it's very easy to be a Monday morning quarterback. But, you know, there were a different set of circumstances. We knew different things than we know now. You know, China was still hiding their role in all of this. There are a lot of factors that go into it. So I don't think that it would have been appropriate to tell the President Trump, what he should have been doing this many months later. What we should be doing, though, is situation and trying to learn from it.
Yeah, you know what, Dr. Carson, you have been very good about decrying politics entering into science and entering into medicine. In the early days of the pandemic, a doctor by the name of Dr. Richard Bartlett from Odessa, Texas, he was widely condemned. He was condemned and censored by the media and the Fauci medical establishment for promoting what he called a silver bullet treatment, which was budesonide. But now a new study on top of several other studies support the use of this common asthma medication as effective in treating the COVID-19 virus. It was politics and non-medical agendas that stopped these medications, not just budesonide, but others, from being deployed and potentially saving lives. Doesn't this story highlight the dangers of allowing the left wing to politicize science and medicine? And should we ever in this country allow them to do it again?
Well, I hope we've learned. It's going to take probably many years, maybe even decades, before we get back to trust in our medical institutions because of what has happened here. But there are also some terrible policies. For instance, the FDA had a policy that you could not provide an EUA, an emergency use authorization, for the vaccine if there was another viable treatment. So they had to downplay the role of budesonide, hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, anything else that came along, they had to downplay it. And this is absolutely ridiculous. Well, we should have the opposite policy. It should say, if we're in a pandemic, we ought to be going down every avenue possible trying to find a cure.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you, Dr. Carson. Last thing. Taxpayer-funded PBS, the NewsHour, ran an episode spotlighting the Texas ban on childhood genital mutilation and hormone treatments. Dr. Michelle Forcier is a professor of pediatrics at Brown University. Take a look.
If I had a 10-year-old or an 8-year-old who told me their ear hurt, I wouldn't look at them and say, you're only 8 or 10. You don't know if your ear hurts, right? It's important that we listen to kids. Doesn't mean that a kid says, I'm trans, and 2 hours later they get hormones. It means that we respect kids as individuals.
Dr. Carson, is that medically sound advice for parents to take?
Well, you know, to compare an earache or ear infection to a complex issue like gender assignment is frankly absurd. And what's happening is children are naturally very curious and children are very suggestible. So to take somebody whose brain isn't even fully developed until they're in their 20s and to make these suggestions to them is actually child abuse. And that's what we really should be railing against. These children, the reason they need parents and the reason they need guardians is because they're not fully mature enough to make those kinds of decisions. It's really quite absurd, and I'm hoping that soon we wake up from this nightmare of irrational thought processing.
Me too. It's like my mama always said, it's why God gave you parents to tell you what to do when I was a kid. Dr. Benjamin Carson, thank you very much. Appreciate the time and the wisdom, sir.